Welcome back to Wheel Reverend. The world of motorcycles is constantly evolving, and every so often a machine comes along that doesn't just fit into the landscape but reshapes it in subtle yet powerful ways. Today, we're diving deep into the 2025 CFMoto 450 Ibex mount, a bike that's been making waves for all the right reasons. This isn't just another middleweight adventure motorcycle, and it isn't just another entry from a manufacturer trying to find a niche. This is a model that shows deliberate thought, refined engineering, and a willingness to blend practicality with aspiration. For riders who've been looking for something versatile, capable, and approachable without giving up style or tech, the Ibex 450 mount might be the answer. Let's start with first impressions, because design is the first language any motorcycle speaks. The Ibex 450 mount greets you with the stance that balances aggression with composure. Its adventure DNA is clear, but it avoids looking overbuilt or heavy-handed. There's a fluidity in the lines of the bodywork, the way the tank narrows toward the seat for easier movement, the upright windshield, and the angular headlamp cluster with its sharp LED signature. It's very modern, but also functional. The paint options for 2025 are richer, with a mix of matte and gloss finishes that highlight the angular shapes. This isn't a bike that looks like it was designed in isolation. It looks like it was designed with the rider's perspective in mind. The cockpit is equally impressive. CFMoto has leaned into technology in the way that feels natural. Front and center is a large, full-color TFT display that's not just clear but also intuitive. The menu system is simple, the ride modes are accessible, and the Bluetooth connectivity allows you to pair your phone for navigation, calls, and media. The handlebar switchgear is tactile and backlit, so even at night, you're not fumbling around trying to remember which button does what. The riding position itself is very neutrally upright, with a wide bar spread that makes slow-speed maneuvering easier while giving you leverage for high-speed stability. The seat height is accessible for a mid-weight adventure bike, which is a huge plus for riders who might not be 6 foot plus but still want to enjoy the adventure touring segment. Of course, design is only one side of the coin. Performance is what makes or breaks a bike, and the Ibex 450 mount has more depth here than you might expect. At the heart of the machine is a liquid-cooled, parallel twin engine with a displacement just shy of 450 cc. It's tuned to deliver a balance of usable low and to work with a healthy mid-range and enough top and pull to keep things exciting on highways. Output figures hover around 45 horsepower with torque in the mid-30 Nm range, which may not sound earth-shattering on paper, but the real story is how the engine delivers it. The fueling is smooth, throttle response is predictable, and the parallel twin layout keeps vibrations in check while still delivering that mechanical feel riders crave. For everyday riding, that means the bike feels eager without being intimidating. For longer rides, it means comfort without fatigue. CFMoto has also fitted a 6-speed gearbox that's slick and precise, with ratios chosen to make both city commuting and highway cruising manageable. There's also the benefit of a slipper clutch, which smooths out downshifts and makes for lighter lever action. For riders who like to push their bikes through twisties, the gearbox and clutch combination makes for a rewarding experience, while for newer riders it makes everything less stressful. Suspension is always a big talking point for an adventure-oriented bike, and the Ibex 450 mount doesn't disappoint. The bike comes with an inverted front fork and a preload adjustable rear monoshock. Travel is generous, enough to soak up bumps, gravel, and light off-road trails, while still keeping the bike composed on asphalt. The setup is not overly soft, which means you don't get that wallowy feeling at higher speeds, but it's compliant enough to keep long days in the saddle from becoming a punishment. For 2025, refinements have been made to damping characteristics, making it even more versatile across varied surfaces. Braking is handled by a dual-disc setup up front with radial calipers and a single disc at the rear, all backed by switchable ABS. The system is progressive rather than grabby, giving you confidence in both dry and wet conditions. The switchable ABS is key, because when you take this bike off-road you want the freedom to lock up the rear and steer with it, while still having safety nets available when you're on pavement. Now, One of the more interesting aspects of this bike is its weight and balance. Coming in at a competitive curb weight for its class, it strikes a good balance between stability and manageability. It's light enough to handle in urban environments or while maneuvering at slow speeds, but it doesn't feel flimsy when you open it up on the highway. That's a tricky line to walk, and CFMoto has nailed it here. The center of gravity feels well placed, so the bike doesn't tip into corners too aggressively nor resist lean when you need it to dot on the road. The Ibex 450 mount feels composed. The wide handlebars give you control, the suspension keeps you in touch with the road, and the engine offers enough grunt for overtakes without needing to wring it out. At highway speeds, the windscreen does a respectable job of deflecting airflow, though taller riders may still want an aftermarket option. Noise and vibration are minimal, and the saddle is firm but shaped in a way that supports you rather than fights you. After a couple of hours, you'll notice it's a bike designed for comfort on journeys, not just quick blasts around town. Take it off the pavement, and the story remains positive. The standing position is natural, the pegs are placed right where you want them, and the suspension handles rough terrain without unsettling the bike. It's not a hardcore dirt bike, but it's more than capable of handling fire roads, gravel, and trails. For riders who want a machine that can double as both daily commuter and weekend explorer, the Ibex 450 mount is well positioned. When we talk about unique selling points, a few stand out. First, the level of technology at this price point is impressive. The TFT dash, Bluetooth integration, multiple ride modes, and switchable ABS are features that not long ago you would have only seen on bikes a tier or two higher. Second, the styling feels premium, with fit and finish that suggests attention to detail. Third, the bike is approachable. Not every adventure-style motorcycle feels like it's meant for a wide audience, but this one does. It's easy to ride, not overwhelming in size, and yet it doesn't compromise on capability. And speaking of price, this is where the Ibex 450 mount really shakes things up. In most markets, it's expected to land in the mid $6,000 to $7,000 range, which undercuts many competitors while still offering a complete package. For what you're getting: a modern design, usable performance, advanced tech, and solid build quality, it represents one of the strongest value propositions in its class. For riders who want a stepping stone into the world of adventure touring without jumping into the heavy, expensive liter class machines, this is a brilliant option. It's also appealing to experienced riders looking for a second bike, something lighter, more playful, and less demanding financially and physically. To sum it up, the 2025 CFMoto 450 Ibex mount is more than the sum of its parts. It combines thoughtful design, rider-focused technology, solid performance, and a competitive price into a package that makes sense for real-world motorcyclists. It's not about chasing spec sheet bragging rights, it's about creating a machine that people will actually enjoy riding, day after day, on a variety of roads. That's what makes it stand out.